Welcome back to our Blue Z Water channel. My name is Andrew Scheim, and today I like to talk about healing an Achilles tendon injury or any very stubborn, hard to heal injury. And this video is going to go out to trainers, practitioners. It's pretty dense information, but I just wanted to talk to the practitioner world. And if you're a layperson, we can, it applies also, but some of this terminology is going to be something you're not familiar with, but I think you could glean through the information and get a sense of what we're talking about. So just to start off, as a body worker, I use a combination of skill sets. One is electroacupuncture. I do fascia work using a program called a vibration therapy program. I use a tool created by a chiropractor called the rapid release tool, which can break down scar tissue, but also when applied with neuromuscular skill sets, can break down very stubborn fascial formations. Also do cranial sacral therapy, which deals with the unwinding of the nervous system. If anybody's done cranial sacral, if you're familiar with it, it is a palpation of kind of, they call it the unwinding of the bones, but it's kind of a rhythm technique where you're trying to attune and get free states in the body to go back into rhythm and have a uniformity of the rhythm. So anybody who's familiar with cranial sacral, obviously you know what I'm talking about. It's an osteopathic technique. It's very subtle. It's very nuanced. In integration with other bodywork techniques, I find it's helpful, but if you have a lot of freeze formations in the body, it's very difficult for craniosacral to work by itself, and you really do need the macrofascial work. Okay, so this is just a little bit about my background. I also very much feel that subconscious trauma memories are usually contributive to any kind of body injury. So that's Chinese medicine in essence, more of that model. So the subconscious is vast. If you have the subconscious trauma memory that's playing, let's say, repetitively, it will cause some section of your body to be distorted, gripped, twisted. For instance, in Chinese medicine, let's say you have IT band problems or sciatica. That would be the gallbladder meridian, which is associated with frustration and anger. And in that model, essentially, if something's playing your subconscious that caused you to feel a lot of anger throughout your whole life, you would manifest that imbalance down that energetic line, which would cause that structural problem. If you have a lot of shoulder, elbow problems, for instance, the reaction to your subconscious memories might be grief, which would be the lung meridian, which travels down the outside of the arm. So anyhow, each circuit in the body reflects some type of deep response to some memory event. So clearing trauma is integral to my work. It is just the central theme, and I think anybody in medicine really should consider this more, not as something aloof or esoteric, but deeply pragmatic. If you keep repeating the same loop, you're going to get the same response, and you need to you need to create a process of resolution so that the loops either become more gentle or you can actually erase some of these memory loops. Now, obviously, this is the final frontier, I think, of healing. This goes for diseases. So again, if you have a lot of anger issues, it can affect your liver physically. If you have a lot of fear issues, it affects your adrenals, your kidneys. This is Chinese medicine in essence. What the conundrum is how do we even begin to understand how to create a practice that liberates these or transforms these trauma memories? Now, we do have, in Healing the Mind, we have our trauma release program. So please take a look at that. So back to the Achilles tendon itself. Now, this was something that happened to me, so that's why I'm doing a video. And I recently saw, that Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles. And, as an athlete, I play tennis and I'm 65. I'm always, looking at ways to, outwardly at least, to these sort of I shouldn't say miracle fixes, but the more cutting edge stuff for healing injury, keeping the fascia at a young and healthy. So what happened with me is I very severely aggravated my Achilles to where after I played tennis, I was even on crutches, and I had a bone spur to boot. So it was pretty much a mess. Now I could knock it back somewhat using the rapid release, the vibration machine. I used the DMSO and electroacupuncture. But the Achilles tendon, as anyone knows, those cells are very stubborn, very hard. How are you going to get to every cell in the Achilles and heal it? Literally, that was the question to myself. How can I permeate right through and through and get to every cell? Now, I understood that the vibration machine is like a macro pump. It creates a G-force effect and pumps every cell in the body at one level. But it's an outside-in pump. So is the rapid release. The electroacupuncture, you can target certain areas where there's stagnation and literally try to relieve frozen energy. But I knew that I wasn't, able to get, literally reach in there and just get to every cell in the Achilles tendons. So basically, the solution came with what's called P.E.M.F. therapy. Now, I just want to show you therapy. This is post. Okay. I was aware of P.E.M.F. therapy, and I had purchased a system, and I immediately decided, okay, I'm going to do a consistent treatment. And I used this pillow applicator, which is very heavy duty, 9-10 pounds of pure copper. And I literally treated my Achilles morning and night for about 30 minutes. And in 2 weeks' time, I was back on the courts, and I've never looked back since. It completely healed my Achilles. Now, I did continue with the vibration therapy. I continued with the rapid release and the acupuncture. The MSO became irrelevant. And in 2 weeks' time, I was turned around. So I don't want to exclude the other body work modalities, but I just want to say that this tool provided the one thing that I could not achieve with anything else. It literally, the P.E.M.F. therapy, if you have the right frequencies and the strength of Gauss, and that's critical, it was able to get to every cell in the Achilles, pump literally every cell, and heal every cell. In other words, there was no cell that wasn't addressed within that area. So that is the miracle of P.E.M.F. therapy. It literally goes right through you and can literally target a cellular cluster and hit everything. Now, I want to be clear. You need to have the right system, and I've done research on this for years, and the Sedona Pro is by far, to me, a practitioner-level system. I'd be very happy to, step you through the specs and why, and, the different systems. There's a lot of marketing in P.E.M.F. I just ignored that, and I did my research for years and years and years, and this is the system I chose to buy. So that is the simple vision. If you could find a tool that can go in and literally work on the cellular level and not miss any cell, it's amazing what can happen. Now integrate that with existing bodywork skill sets, you can take it further. Now, there's one other therapy I did also want to talk about, which has further helped heal all the systemic structure. I mean, we're talking all the fascia, and that is molecular oxyhydrogen therapy. So you can Google hydrogen therapy. We have 3 videos. Here's one. This describes the machine I use and why it's a superior machine. There's an interview. I would recommend going here first with George Wiseman. We'll post links to these videos. Hydrogen therapy is profoundly anti-inflammatory. Just like the P.E.M.F. can literally be a micro pump in every cell in the body, the molecular hydrogen, oxygen, literally can seep deep down into every cell in the body, and it's profoundly anti-inflammatory. And hydrogen is an incredible, hydrogen-oxygen mixture is incredibly, it's like primal food for the cells. So the healing response is extraordinary. So if you can knock out inflammation and at the same time regenerate a cell, you're going to get incredible recovery with this therapy. So this is a systemic molecular therapy for healing at the cellular level, and the P.E.M.F is a micro pumping therapy on the cell. Now, please also look at this interview. It explains how P.E.M.F works. This is an interview with Franz Zach. He's been around since the 80s, at the very beginning of P.E.M.F, and he can kind of clue you in as to a little more specifically how the P.E.M.F works. But basically, it's a micro pump on every cell, and it brings the cell back to life. Now you feed the cell the hydrogen. This is an incredible healing combination if you're an athlete. Now, my job as a body worker is to see the patterns and, help essentially break very stubborn alignments. But these are the core tools that you would do at home, along with the vibration therapy and the rapid release therapy. So we can work with you as a practitioner and kind of clue you into these newer technologies if you're not already aware of them, or at least if you're aware of some of them, kind of give you a further understanding of the integration of these technologies. This is amazingly empowering for a client to go home and start doing this stuff. Then when they come to you, anything you do is going to work way, way better. This is one of my generally more frustrating challenges is getting my clients to do their end of the deal. But this is just something I feel very strong about. And the other thing, of course, is the affordability of some of these technologies. So any therapist out there is interested in learning more, I'd be very happy to discuss these technologies. I love talking with practitioners. If you're a layperson, we can definitely get you going on a practice at home. We can train you on camera. Nothing here is complicated. It's actually pretty simple. And then if you're doing this on a daily basis, you'll see radical improvement. I also just want to say that this isn't just for healing injury. This is incredibly powerful for systemic healing. If the cell can basically be permeated, let's say with a hydrogen oxygen therapy, you're pumping the cells. If you get cellular healing, you start to heal. Now, we teach a lot around detox, and I don't want to overwhelm you in this video with too much information, but we do have a detox program. So just to give you a brief overview, we have our comprehensive detox program. This is fairly straightforward. We can teach any practitioner what this program is about. Then the vibration therapy program is a part of this whole structural alignment healing, and then the trauma release program, which we mentioned. You can read through that. And so anybody who's a body worker understands what it's like when a person has trauma freeze in the body, and how challenging it is if you can't get a person to let go. It's very challenging to get any issue healed. So this is a very central piece once again. So please take a look at the trauma release program. If you have any questions, please contact me, Andrew@bluesywater.com. And you can we can set up a time to talk. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care.